Showdown of the 1997 season.
When going out west where I belong. When the days are short and the nights are long. Oh, and I walk, I never walk, I shoot, I never shoot, and I shimmy, I never shoot, and I fly, I never fly. Well, I say I have been born in the warm California sun. Well, I say I have been born in the warm California sun.
The Tehachapi and Sierra Nevada mountains serve as a majestic backdrop to the Mojave Desert. And in the midst of all of this natural beauty outside of Bakersfield, California, sits a jewel of a racetrack, the Mesa Marin Raceway. And today, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series comes calling for the Dodge California Truck Stop 300. Jack Sprague is the series point leader. To get past this final short track race of the year, many feel the championship would be his. 77 points back, Wisconsin's Rich Bickle. 3 short track wins this year. He's a favorite for victory lane this afternoon. And 156 points back. Last weekend's winner, Joe Ruttman, Jack Roush's driver, can't be counted out today. This is the 23rd of 26 events for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bakersfield, California. It's a magnificent afternoon. Glad you're with us right here on TNN Motorsports. Before we talk about today's 300 lapper, let's bring you up to speed on the news of this week. On Tuesday, NASCAR handed down a fine of $5,000 and docked driver Boris said 42 championship points because after a number of incidents last week at Sears Point, he waited for Rich Bickle's truck to come by. He made that premeditated hard left-hand turn, and that really spread the point separation between Jack Sprague and the number 2 man, Rich Bickle. So NASCAR handing out that fine. Now, this week has not been a good one for Seth either. He wrecked his truck here yesterday. They've gotten it fixed and ready to go this afternoon, but on the heels of an accident earlier in the week at the California Speedway, this is one of those weekends that Boris said would just as soon forget about. The headlines out here, of course, talking about the man on the pole. Mike Bliss winning the Busch pole for the 4th time in 1997. But still, the prevailing story is the battle for the championship. And Jack Sprague is the man everybody's shooting at. He's standing by with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Eli. And as you indicated, that melee at Sears Point last week, this guy right here may have been the biggest benefactor. Jack, this is the last short track race of the season. We finish out a stretch run of 3 super speedways where you do so well. Bickle starts second, but a good finish by you here today puts you a long way towards that championship.
Well, it does, but first of all, I'd like to say that everybody on this team, their thoughts and prayers are with the Miller family. Our parts man, Dale Miller, passed away yesterday early in the morning, and it was a big loss for Hendrick Motorsports and the Super Truck team, and our thoughts are with him. And second of all, it's my little girl's birthday today. She's 3 years old. Happy birthday, Paige. I haven't been home for one of these things yet, but I swear I'm going to one day. Quaker State Chevrolet's running great. We just got to get a good finish out of here and go on to the speedways where I can't wait to go.
He said it exactly right, Eli, and I'd like to take this opportunity to wish my dad, Ned Jarrett, a happy birthday today also.
And even Jimmy Hensley's celebrating his 52nd birthday out here with us yesterday. This gentleman's not celebrating a birthday, but Jeff Fuller is with us from the NASCAR Busch Series, top 20 in points, and he's out here for next weekend's race in Fontana, California, kind enough to join us today. Great to have you aboard, and you're familiar with tough little tricky short tracks like this, aren't you?
I'll tell you, it really reminds me of the old Westboro Speedway. Tough on brakes, as we saw last night in the Winston West race. We saw the road is glowing red. Tough on tires. The track is real abrasive, and tire management's going to be a big deal here today. And you need a lot of torque coming up off the corners, so it should really prove to be a real interesting truck race.
It is going to be well done. A truck race coming up. We only have super speedway events coming up from here. It's on to California Speedway, then Phoenix and Las Vegas. So today, the final short track event of the season for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Dodge California Truck Stop 300 is brought to you by Mopar Chrysler Corporation Parts and the Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. And by the original vent visor, the most practical accessory for your truck. to go racing here in Bakersfield, California. Let us go trackside to hear the command to fire engines from one of racing's legends and the man behind the Dodge Viper, Carroll Shelby.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
And with that command, we are set to go racing the Dodge California Truck Stop 300 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series about to unfold. Now let's take a look at our General Motors starting lineup today with 34 trucks on hand. Mike Bliss, the only driver with 3 top 5 finishes here at Bakersfield, and Rich Bickle alongside. Brian Refner with his best start of 97, and a man who's won twice this year, Kenny Irwin. Kevin Harvick, he finished 8th in the NASCAR Winston West race last night. And Jimmy Hensley, the birthday boy of yesterday. Tony Raines, who won back at I-70 Speedway in Missouri. And Ron Hornaday, who led 243 laps a year ago. Chuck Bound, 11 top 10s this year. And Jack Sprague, his Chevy truck, the series point leader. Joe Rutland, the winner last week at Sears Point. And Bill Sedgwick, who was 6th here a night ago. Randy Tolsma, he finished 6th at Indianapolis, and Jay Sauter, his first Truck Series event ever at this racetrack. Kelly Denton will be starting 15th, and Canadian Ron Fellows, the winner at Watkins Glen, goes 16th. 17th is Stacy Compton. He was 3rd at Colorado, and Mike Wallace here for his very first visit. Butch Miller with 3 top 10 finishes in the 3 races here, and the ASA Series champion, Kevin Sawinski. Rick Corelli, 15 top 10 finishes this year, and Rob Rizzo, who was 6th at Tucson. Rick Crawford, he is 2nd in the rookie standings, and Dave Rezendes now driving for Tom Gloy. Ron Esau with 4 Winston West poles here, and Lance Norrick of Oklahoma City. Bob Keselowski, the winner at Richmond, and Boris Said in the rookie hunt. Tony Roper and Joe Bean sharing row number 15. Row 16 is New Jersey's Donnie Ling Jr. and California's Mylan Garrett. And row 17, Doug George, a former Winston West champion, and Tony Toast from Pismo Beach, California. There you have the starting grid for today's running of the Dodge California Truck Stop 300. Back for the green flag from Mesa Marin in a moment. Now, as we get set for the green, here is the AutoZone prep for the race. $310,000. 4th event here at Mesa Marin. Mike Skinner having won here. Ron Hornaday having won here. Those are the only 2 victors. Skinner pulling down a couple of wins. Now we're set to go racing. There's going to be just 1 break at the halfway point. That's when the tire change and all will take place. And Jeff Fuller, this is going to be a good one. The conditions are ideal.
Boy, it really is. It's beautiful out here. It's not too hot. You're going to see a good race here.
On the Busch pole, Mike Bliss. Green is in the air, and we are underway at Bakersfield, California. You saw midway down the back straightaway there, the 66 truck of Brian Refner got a little squirrely, but otherwise everybody cleanly through lap number 1. First time that Bliss has ever led here at Mesa Marin.
Oh, there goes the 4th.
There goes Bill Sedgwick spinning around in turns 3 and 4. No caution yet. Sedgwick was running 13th. There you see the 48 also putting on the brakes, Canadian Ron Fellows. We are staying under green. No caution as Sedgwick and Fellows are able to continue away. Working lap 3. There you see Ron Hornaday. He's in the 16 truck trying to challenge back for 5th. And there you see Jimmy Hensley and another Dodge truck. That's Tony Raines in the 19 working side by side. Showing you again what happened here in the corner. Watch the 4 truck, Jeff.
Looks like he just That didn't have a good show of it there, but it looked like he just got down in there, and I don't know if there was any contact or not.
It was tough to tell, but you saw everybody else go around, both the 4 of Sedgwick and the 48 of Fellows. There's Ron Hornaday and Tony Raines in the 19. Good battle ahead of them now for second spot. You see it there going into the corner, and give that one to Brian Reffner, who'll grab the 66 truck in a second around Kenny Irwin.
Eli, Ron Hornaday just passed 3 trucks on the outside. That truck really seems to be hooked up on the outside.
Normally, they will tell you it takes anywhere from 25 to 40 laps for that outside groove to come in. And I guess it's a good point when you talk about experience here, as you see Raines trying to get back by him in a battle for 5th. Guys like Hornaday, this was his second home track, if you will, along with the Saugus Speedway in California, in Santa Clarita, and Rick Corelli. Those 2 fellows who have run here virtually forever. They say, give it a little time, that outside groove's going to come in.
Yeah, you know he's a fan favorite, because when they introduced him, I don't think a person here was sitting down.
At a fan club meeting out here on Friday, did Ron Hornaday. There's Rich Bickle. He is now back in the 8th spot, Glenn Jarrett.
Yeah, Eli, and I asked Dave McCarty if there were a problem with the truck. He said, no, we're just taking it easy. We got to save tires. Jeff talked about this right at the top of the show. 150 laps on one set of tires on this racetrack. They'll be worn down to the cords. So he's trying to save tires so that at the halftime break, he can be up in the top 2 or 3 positions.
As a point of reference, if you were with us here a year ago, you'll remember that because of the tire wear, they ran this event in thirds. Instead of having a halfway break, they stopped for tires at lap 100 and again at lap 200. Today, though, Goodyear has brought a different tire than a year ago. They have brought their New Hampshire and Richmond Winston Cup and Busch Series tire, and the wear has been there, but not quite as significant as a year ago.
Right. The tire that they run up at New Hampshire is a little bit tougher. It might not be quite as fast, but it's a lot more durable. And, you know, if they were only getting 60 or 70 laps of fast racing last year, they should be able to go at least halfway.
Good 3 wide for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Chuck Bound in the 99. The point leader Sprague in the 24. They got around Jimmy Hensley there in the 43 truck. And that parts peaceably enough. You know, everybody's saying the pressure's on that 24 truck, even though he has a point lead coming in of 77. With this race and 3 super speedway events to go before the championship is his, everybody is saying, yeah, it's the guy who's in the lead right now who has the pressure, not the folks who are chasing.
I can't believe just walking through the pits down there how of a relaxed atmosphere it is compared to like at a Busch race or a Cup race where it seems everybody's on edge. The atmosphere is definitely a lot more comfortable, a lot more at ease here.
Except around Sprague again, because he's just been a little antsy as you see the battle for the lead shaping up. Kenny Irwin in the 98. Bliss in the 2. He was our pole sitter and has led since the drop of the green. See on this shot how the vehicles, the trucks, really slow significantly in the corners, and that was what you were talking about, Jeff. Really, right here again, you really need some significant torque right there coming off the turn.
You really do. I mean, you get into that corner so hard, and if you get on the brakes too hard, you're going to spin. As Boris said, we saw that happen yesterday. And in the middle of the corner, you're just about stopped, and when you jump back into that gas, you need a lot of torque to help you come up off that corner.
That is the battle for the lead again. They have shuffled Brian Reffner out of the mix now, as he has fallen well behind. You have Harvick, then Hornaday, then Reffner. Remember how Brian was challenging for second before.
See how close to the wall they are right there. That's how you get a good angle into the corner. If you stay down and try to get into the corner, the truck just wants to go straight.
This is for 4th place right here.
On the outside. Can you believe that? I mean, you really didn't think that this was going to happen until, like we were talking about before, halfway through the race. I mean, I can't believe he's making that outside groove work so quick.
Back up front, Bliss and Irwin. one thing we are seeing, too, and I guess the 17 degrees of banking accounts for a good bit of it, you really have to point the nose of that truck down low coming off the corner, particularly off 4, it seems.
Right. Even if you notice, like, even though Ron is making that outside works, when he comes up out of the corner, he is coming down low to get up off the corner.
Still
This is
outside.
for the lead.
Still outside. Still outside. Clear.
Clear is the word. Kenny Irwin takes the lead. Hornaday sneaks to the second.
Truck outside. Outside. Still outside.
We're listening to Kenny Irwin's team.
Those spotters are so
Outside.
important.
Outside.
That's your second set of eyes right there. You can tell that truck is there,
really
but
good.
still, to have that guy letting you know when you're clear or whatever is right there.
And now everybody rises and cheers as Ron Hornaday, the local favorite, takes the lead, though Irwin tries to challenge back. The lap that Kenny led, Kenny Irwin, first lap he has led in this series since the race at Texas Motor Speedway.
Now, Eli, even though he's out in the lead, you'd think he'd go to the bottom of the track. I mean, they might have just set that chassis up to run high. I mean, he's out in the lead. You'd think he'd go back to the bottom, but he's not. Maybe he's got a different philosophy for conserving tires here.
Well, we'll all find out together as everybody's just waiting and watching. Still early, just 22 laps complete. There's our hard-working pit reporter, Glenn Jarrett. Yeah, it is
Hi,
warm.
Glenn.
There you see the top 10. There you see how they're running. Caution is on the speedway. Caution is on the speedway. Debris in turn number 4 is bringing us under caution for the very first time this afternoon. Lap 27 is when the yellow will fly. And that will take Ron Hornaday's lead and put him back to even Steven. There you see the piece of debris out there in the corner that NASCAR's observers spotted. So we are under caution for the first time here this afternoon. Glad you're with us. If you are watching CBS's coverage of the Sears Die Hard 500, glad to have you with us here in Bakersfield, California now. Our congratulations to Terry Labonte and that entire Kellogg's team for their victory today in Talladega, Alabama. We told you yesterday was Jimmy Hensley's birthday, 52 years of age. All set for another go-round with Richard Petty Motorsports. Pit stops taking place for Boris Said. He is into the attention of the crew. There's the Federated Auto Parts truck. And again, they've had all sorts of problems. They had an accident in testing at the California Speedway earlier in the week. Then they had an accident here yesterday. Had to rebuild that truck. You know, they were saying 190 miles an hour for the trucks entering turn 1, Jeff, in California in their test early in the week.
That's got to be something. I mean, to be going that fast in a truck with, you know, on a Busch Grand National Winston Cup car, you can make different, you know, different things happen as far as downforce or whatever. But you look at one of these and you say, well, you know, how could you possibly go that fast and be in control? But I talked with a few of them, and they said that the trucks actually felt good going that fast.
And that's where they'll be heading next weekend. There's Ron Fellows into the attention of the crew. Ron from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. He won at Watkins Glen. And this is only his 8th career short track event. He's a road racer, lifelong road racer. He went to New Smyrna Speedway in Florida during Speed Weeks and ran 4 races there. He had run 3 up at Cayuga in California, in Canada, I should say, and that's been it. This really is his 8th career short track event. There you see Bill Sedgwick. He made a pit stop at lap number 29. Tony Roper was in as well. And the green is back out. Ron Hornaday continues to pace the field.
All around.
Before we went back to caution, Eli, you could tell Kenny Irwin was trying that same line that Ron Hornaday was. Again, I don't know what the theory is there. We'll see if he doesn't come down. Yeah, he's down low right now.
Kenny Irwin in the 98 truck running second. Mike Bliss in the 2 running third. 75 Kevin Harvick.
Looking inside.
Good battle now between Reigns in the 19, Brian Refner in the 66. That's 5th and 6th spot being battled for. just a bit.
Well, he's definitely giving him the inside if he wants it.
About a 2 truck length lead.
There are Bliss in the 2, Harvick in the 75. Across the top of the screen, MCI bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring here today, and we'll continue to bring you that rundown throughout the course of the afternoon.
See, Mike Bliss hasn't elected to move up there. He's set up to be on the bottom. He's got a distinctively different groove going in there. I mean, like left side tires in the dirt.
But again, let's point out that Bliss is the only driver in the series to have finished top 5s in each of the first 3 races here at Mesa Marin Raceway. Glenn Jarrett watching it from pit road.
Yeah, guys, I'm watching Hornaday with Kenny Irwin right behind him, and Irwin has moved up now, starting to use that higher line. What they're telling me down here is that Ron has so much experience on this racetrack that he has found that you get far better tire wear putting the truck up top like that. Ooh, a little bit of contact there between 3 and 19, but it's just one of his ways of trying to conserve the tires. Ron Hornaday's run this racetrack so much he could probably go around here blindfolded and run that same line. So it's working for him right now, and Kenny Irwin's trying it as well.
Here goes Irwin for the lead if he can get a jump off the corner.
But you got to stay off the radio so much.
As Glenn was saying, Hornaday has run here more than 50 times. Although, interestingly, he only has 2 wins in the NASCAR Featherlight Modified Tour to show for those 50 starts, as Irwin wants the lead.
Still outside you.
Looks like he's going to get it right here.
Turn 2.
Outside.
Listening into Irwin's spotter.
Outside.
We're at lap 38 of 300.
See, when Irwin is down underneath like that, right about that point right there, when he gets back into the throttle, he can't let the truck drift up to the wall, so he's scrubbing a little bit of speed coming up off because Hornaday's taking the line that he needs to be in.
Is Hornaday forcing Irwin here to abuse his tires?
I don't really think so. Hornaday, I saw him a couple laps ago. He went right to the bottom of the track. I just think he's still feeling the track out. Like you say, he's got so much experience here that I think he can make the third group for him.
And don't forget the 75 there, Kevin Harvick. He's coming on the scene, and he ran here last night and finished 8th in the NASCAR Winston West Series race. 66 back in the picture also. That's Brian Refner as we ride with Mike Bliss. Back to the pits, Glenn.
I got a question for Jeff. Jeff, if you're Ron Hornaday and leading this thing, and those guys start diving under you there, it looked to me like when Irwin got under him, that Ron raced him a little harder, because that's exactly what you want to see him do, is get down there on that bottom and grind that rubber off.
Yeah, there might be some mind games there, that's for sure. And like we were talking about, Ron has got so much experience here. Maybe he is doing some of that right now. He is definitely going good, though.
Everybody running well among those. Jay Sauter also now beginning to creep up towards the front, having started 14th. We've had one very brief caution. We're at lap 43 of 300. Coming right back.
There.
The field is getting the 1 to go signal as they come back to the stripe, wrapping up caution number 2. It flew on lap 45 for a problem involving that man, Bill Sedgwick, who climbs from the soft-cut Chevy truck. Let's take a look at what happened here, Jeff Fuller.
Well, they're coming up off the corner. It looks like Tony Roper either got a better jump, or the 4-car didn't get as good a jump, but he definitely got into the back of him and turned him there.
The 4 seemed to be smoking his tires, too, as he came off the corner. You might have seen just a little telltale bit of smoke. And that's what slowed him up, and Tony Roper gave him a bit of a shot in the caboose for caution number 2. So the field set to go back to green. Ron Hornaday leading, Kenny Irwin second, Kevin Harvick is third, Jay Sauter running in fourth, and Mike Bliss is fifth. The Dodge Durango Pace Truck. There you see that black vehicle being shown on national TV for the first time here today. It makes its way down the pit lane, and we are back to racing. Green flag at lap number 50. through turns 1 and 2. Good battle there for second. Harvick in the 75.
Inside again, inside.
You're listening to Kenny Irwin's team.
Inside, still inside. Still inside. Still inside. Inside. 3 trucks now.
Kevin Harvick has not been off the bottom of the track since the green flag fell. And I mean, 2 tires in the... He is really using the bottom of the track, and I'm still not so sure that that's where you want to be at this point.
But he is the local guy. He's from here in the Bakersfield area. Knows this racetrack. I mean, it has been his home track for the local weekly Winston Racing Series shows and so on. So if anybody knows his way around, you'd think it would be Harvick.
Looks like he's got a pretty good run for the lead right here. We'll see what happens.
Couple of local favorites, Hornaday in the 16, Harvick in the 75. Jay Sauter running in third, Mike Bliss running in fourth as we ride with Hornaday. Looking back to a great battle for second.
Wow, did you see
He's
how
right
low
off he was off the pavement.
The thing, you know, I don't know. I walked around and I saw a lot of these trucks. They had a chain on the right front of the sway bar, which allows you to drop the left rear wheel off without going right back and transferring it to the right front. So you can actually get off the curb and get into the grass without upsetting the right front when you've got a floating sway bar like that. He must have one.
15th career start for Kevin Harvick, who has never led in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Good, Kenny. Keep saving them tires.
And that's the storyline we told you about when we came on the air. Save those tires.
Inside, still inside. Clear.
Well ahead of the race record. Last year here, we had 14 cautions for 62 laps. Only 2 very brief caution flag periods thus far. Though we are just 55 laps in.
When we were watching that Talladega race, right from there, it looked like he got hung out to dry, but this is only a half-mile track, so I guess that can't be true.
Little different style. Lap of the day so far, the MCI fast lap of the day, Mike Bliss on lap 10, 20.298 second lap. They really haven't backed down that much off the pole speed, as you see Harvick going for the lead. It would be a first for him if he can lead a lap on the series. Nope, missed it by inches. It was still Hornaday. Still Hornaday.
There he goes.
This one.
Right in the dirt. I mean, it's a wonder he doesn't have flat left side tires already. I can't believe how far down in the dirt he is.
Look at the power coming off the corner, though, for Hornaday as we listen to his truck. This is a super battle for the lead.
Yes, it is.
This time it works.
And look at who comes right back down.
But here comes Hornaday. Hornaday got him again.
He does not want him to have that lead. And there they go again.
Down there.
The leader of the Palmdale Posse, Ron Hornaday, against Bakersfield's own Kevin Harvick.
They're not just willingly doing this either. I mean, they've opened up a pretty good gap there on the third place truck.
They've pulled away by about 3 truck lanes from the Jay Sauter-Mike Bliss battle right behind them. And something's wrong with Kenny Irwin. Irwin has a problem on the Ray Best.
On pit road now, guys.
You see it on the ground.
Get the sign up.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker on a short track. I don't care how quick your service is going to be. You're going to lose a couple, 3 laps.
Yeah, you definitely, you know, in the olden days before all these rules and regulations come out, you can take it. My brother Ricky was a professional at it. He could take and spin the car out and bring out a caution and, you know, get in, get the flat changed, but you can't do that anymore.
Glenn, that's a heartbreaker.
You know, they're not used to changing tires under the green here. They've done a good job. They had to put a pry bar under the truck because the left side was so low to even get the jack under it. Having a little bit of trouble with that left rear now. He's down and away. Oh, and he stalls it. Now he gets it back. he lost at least a couple
You're
laps.
clear there, clear
He had a
there.
tough look here last year. Just not a good racetrack.
Leader
for
to
Kenny Irwin.
2.
By the time he accelerates and gets going again, he will lose 3, maybe 4 laps. It depends what happens here with Hornaday trying to come by him yet again. Hornaday will bypass him at the stripe. So that'll be a 3-lap deficit.
Irwin's really got to work his tail off here to stay in front of him. When you just replace one tire like that, you've got, you know, the other 3 tires have got 65 laps on them. You kind of tiptoe the first lap just to make sure that everything feels all right. But it obviously looks like he's doing it.
Kevin Harvick is in the wall. Or to correct myself, that is the 90 of Lance Norrick. We've been talking about Harvick so much. Lance Norrick in the wall, and caution on the speedway. Comes out for the 3rd time today in lap number 66. Lance Norrick and the Dodge truck with power from Joey Arrington, who's on hand. Buddy Arrington's son, who has always been part of the Dodge power plant team. They're in the wall. Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is being brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Field set to go green here in Bakersfield, California. Kenny Irwin trying to get one of his laps back in the 98 truck. Race leader Ron Hornaday, he's in the 16. Irwin is 2 laps down. Now is on the tail end of 1 lap down, almost 2 down. There's Hornaday. Kevin in the 75 machine. Kevin Harvick. Here comes Jay Sauter in the 3, and only his first weekend ever to run here at Bakersfield's Mesa Marin Raceway. Mike Bliss in the 2. Here's a battle for the lead again. Remember, Harvick has yet to lead a lap. Maybe this will be the time.
Yep.
Hornaday's just strong off the corner.
Still there.
He's got such a good line coming up off the corner. Like I say, when you're on the bottom, you're actually climbing a bigger hill coming up out of the corner.
Little dance on the part of that 75 truck, the Spears manufacturing entry. And still not there. Good battle right behind them also. The 3 of Sauter, the 2 of Bliss, our pole sitter. And you saw the yellow truck. That was Randy Tolsma, the number 61. He's all the way up to 5th now. There is Tolsma, the yellow truck. He's run here 5 times previously, Tolsma has. USAC sprint races. Picked up that new Dole sponsorship. He and Bobby Banana. That's the Dole mascot.
Bobby Banana.
Bobby Banana. Yeah. Well, that's his name. Trying to put Kenny Irwin 2 laps down. Hornaday draws alongside, and again Irwin a couple of laps down after cutting a tire earlier in the Dodge California Truck Stop 300. Glad you're with us. Eli Gold, Jeff Fuller, Glenn Jarrett.
Looking again.
On a magnificent weekend in Bakersfield,
Outside,
California.
outside.
Here goes Bliss in the 2.
Still out there. Still out there.
Hey, that Jay Sauter, he's a talented young driver. Never been here until this weekend. Ran the Winston West race last night just to get laps. Good scramble for second. Don't know exactly where to watch next, Glenn.
Oh, no, Eli, and please refer to me as a Banana Nose from now on. That's what I was known as a kid. I'm down in Brian Repter's pit. He was running in the top 10, had a good truck. On the first caution that we had, he had to come in. Look at this heat shield here. Here at Mesa Marin, they have to run mufflers on these trucks. His got very hot. You can see the heat discoloration here. They had to take this shield out, put another one in to protect him, the muffler right under the driver's seat, making it very, very hot for him. So I think they got the problem corrected now, but not often you hear about a pit stop in NASCAR for a muffler adjustment.
Indeed. Predominantly on the West Coast, there are noise abatement rules. And in the instance here, there is a measuring device that does measure the sound coming off of the individual trucks. You can be no more than 103 dBs of sound measured from 100 feet away. There are other tracks that are even more stringent than that, some that are less so. But that's something you see, I don't want to say exclusively on the West Coast, but certainly predominantly out here.
I thought that they did Richter scales out here, not decimals.
No.
Oh, that's for the earthquake kind of thing.
It.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. You're a sick human. Ron Hornaday is the leader in the 16 truck. He has led since lap 21. We're now at lap 82. Glad you're with us. Opryland, USA, the official destination of NASCAR. Great place to take the family, and don't forget, coming up, the country Christmas. It really is a special time to visit Music City. Call Opryland, USA at 615-889-6611, Monday through Friday. Get all the information about the official destination of NASCAR. And NASCAR Thunder Stores now opening up all across the country. The location in Chattanooga, Tennessee has to be added to that list. That one opened up on Friday, October the 3rd. And coming up in just a week's time on October the 18th, Phoenix, Arizona at the Metro Center will be opening up. So want to check out NASCAR Thunder, the official store of NASCAR. We are under caution here at Mesa Marin Raceway. Fourth time it came out at lap number 88 when Donnie Ling Jr. had a problem, put him in the wall.
It looks, I couldn't tell if there was any contact there or not. That's a little bit before where Boris said hit the wall yesterday, but it doesn't look like he's got too much damage there. That's just some fuel that's not burnt out of the pipe yet. It doesn't look like he's in too bad a shape.
No, he's a Brick Township, New Jersey police officer who routinely investigates traffic accidents. That's his job. Hasn't been in a race vehicle in 3 years since a Busch North Series event. Under caution, time for us to take a look at this week's Dodge Innovation in Motion. Glenn Jarrett joining Kurt Rohrig.
I'm standing with Kurt Rohrig. He is the owner and engineer of the number 18 Dodge truck driven this week by Kevin Sawinski. Kurt, you guys do some things differently to affect chassis characteristics here. Tell us about those things.
Yeah, both on the Dana Dodge and the Pennzoil Dodge, we like to run X braces in the rear of the chassis. These are Hopkins chassis. They're real consistent, nice pieces. That helps keep the rear end platform a little more stable. In the front, we lower our front sway bar tube, run some braces from rearward in the chassis, and also an X brace in the engine bay to stabilize the loads that come in the front of the chassis from the sway bar and the steering linkage. Interesting note, even though this is the Dana Dodge, this is actually the Pennzoil Dodge that won I-70. The two teams work very closely together. We needed an extra truck this weekend, so we painted it up blue and white, and now it's a Dana Dodge.
And this is the Dodge truck that gave Dodge its first victory in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series back in May, right here on TNN.
And we are just now back to green flag racing as you see the 16 of Hornaday leading. The 3 of Sauter is running in second. The 98 still a couple of laps back. That's Kenny Irwin after cutting down a tire. Kevin Harvick is in third on the leaderboard in the 75 truck, followed by Bliss in the 2 and Randy Tolsman the 61. All that stuff that Kurt Rohrig was talking about there, Jeff Fuller, what does that mean in English?
Well, what he was explaining there in the front end, they beefed up where the aileron, the pitman arm, the steering box. They don't want the steering box or any of the front end geometry flexing. In the back of the truck, those X braces. Hendrick Motorsports, Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, Ricky Craven, those cars there are built more rigid because the stiffer the chassis, the softer the spring you can run. The softer the spring you run, the easier it is on the tires. Can you feel this in time trials or in 5 or 10 laps? Probably not, but after a 40, 50, 60 lap run, when you get a lot of you know, a lot of laps on, that's usually where the softer springs will show up for the longevity as far as where we can, you know, where we can see the tire wear is better.
Well, we'll follow that story and see how the trucks run throughout the day. If you're wondering about the championship point hunt, there is Jack Sprague being bypassed by Stacy Compton right now. Jack in the 24 is running in 11th position. He is the point leader. Rich Bickle, who is second in points, he is right there in the Sears Diehard truck running in 7th. The other man in the mix, Joe Ruttman, he is a distant 15th right now as we're working at lap 97, 1/3 of the way through the Dodge California Truck Stop 300. There's Kenny Irwin in the middle of that mix again. If you're just tuning in, the 98 truck 2 laps down after cutting a tire earlier.
Clear all around, good rhythm, no pressure, looking good.
Not nearly as warm here today as it was a year ago. If you remember a year ago, the sweat was flying. I mean, it was a warm day. But
it was awful cold last night, though.
It was in the high 40s in Bakersfield last night, and the temperature today is somewhere in the middle 70s. Big change from a season back. Behind the top 5, taking it further back, Tony Raines is running 6th. Rich Bickle is 7th. 8th position belongs to Mike Wallace. 9th right now is Kelly Denton. Stacy Compton is 11th. Jack Sprague is 12th. 13th is Chuck Bound. 14th is Rick Crawford. Joe Ruttman runs in 15th. All of these trucks on the lead lap. In 16th is Dave Resendiz. 17th belongs to Bob Keselowski. 18th is Rick Corelli. 19th is Rob Rizzo. And 20th is Kevin Sawinski. 21st position is Butch Miller. 22nd is Ron Esau, the West Coast veteran. At 23rd spot now is Tony Rover. Those trucks on the lead lap as we work at lap 102 of 300. Mentioned Dave Resendiz in the course of that rundown. He and his wife Michelle expecting a child yet again. That is certainly good news. Little problem for Brian Refner coming out of turn number 2. He goes down the back straightaway and wrestles his truck onto the pit lane, so we remain under green. But a close call up in the corner for Brian Refner in the Dale Phelan-owned number 66 entry. There's Brian making yet another stop on the pit lane. This one coming at lap number 104.
Looks like he's going behind the wall. All done.
All sorts of problems for him today. He was close to an accident earlier. Then he made a stop at lap 68. Now here at lap 104. There's a familiar sight. Ron Hornaday leading at Mesa Marin. He took the lead at lap 21. We are back with you here at the Mesa Marin Raceway, Bakersfield, California. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in their final short track event of 1997. There are the front 2, Hornaday in the 16, Jay Sauter in the 3. Then comes the truck of Kenny Irwin. He is a couple of laps down. The folks from Napa Auto Parts. We keep America running, and they keep the scoring rundown running for you here on TNN Motorsports. Good run for Kelly Denton there in 11th. Keselowski 14th. Ron Esau, he's in 20th right now. Good battle shaping up now for 5th spot. There you've got Bickle, Raines, Jimmy Hensley tied together in their private battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Bill Sedgwick and Brian Refner behind the wall. They have had 4 caution flags, albeit brief caution periods, for a total of 15 laps. Glenn, what's the deal with Brian Refner? More heat problems?
Well, that and a transmission, I believe, Eli. You know, back in August when we did the truck race in Nashville, this man had a truck capable of winning the race. 3 track accident after the caution period knocked him out of the race. You had a good truck today, Brian. Boy, you got terrible luck.
Yeah, it's the same truck we had in Nashville. You know, I ran good there, and we had high hopes for it today, and just, you know, smart problems and, you know, unforeseen. It's just too bad. You know, the Carlin board and the Phelan team just haven't had things go their way this year.
It was getting pretty hot in there. We saw him change that heat shield a couple times.
Well, I think the muffler split, and it was blowing hot exhaust, and it was burning the paint in there, and it was smoking pretty bad, and it wasn't a good day from the start, so it's just too bad.
Well, you know, a race driver never wants to get out of his vehicle, but this is probably one day he didn't mind getting out of that hot seat.
I can imagine, Jeff Fuller, that heat has got to be, I mean, you're talking a serious case of hot cross buns here.
It really is. I mean, these motors are very similar to what we run in the Busch Series, and the exhaust temperature is much hotter than in a Winston Cup car, and on a short track like this, you want to run both your exhaust pipes underneath the seat to keep the left side weight in the car, so the car doesn't get into the corner and roll over to the right side. So, I mean, I've been in that situation there where your tush is just about burnt, and your heels and everything else, and you're like, how much longer can I go? But the adrenaline takes over, and, you know, say la vie.
And like you're saying, it works in a truck. The geometry story and the weights are the same as the cars, as you were explaining there seconds ago. You see Tony Raines, we're riding with him now in the Pennzoil Dodge truck number 19. He is in 7th. Jimmy Hensley right behind him, the 43 truck. He is in 8th. The 52, Mike Wallace, is in 9th. And Stacy Compton, the 86, he's running in 10th. And remember Stacy Compton, because he likes these tracks where there is an abrasive surface. Colorado was similar to that. Louisville was similar to that. Any track where you really have to conserve tires, Stacy Compton has always been in the top 5 at the end of the day.
That's a real interesting point. You know, somebody that right now when the race started, you saw Ron Hornaday run the high line, you saw a couple trucks run the low line and this and that. And that's going to be real interesting to see where that guy ends up, because he's really had a lot of success on tracks that eat tires.
Joe Ruttman now going a lap down in 22nd spot. There's Hornaday. You see the LCI truck behind him. That's Joe Ruttman. 3rd in points. He has just been bypassed by the race leader. So Joe is now a lap down in 23rd position. That's the kind of pace Hornaday is setting here. He has led 73% of the laps here coming in to the race. The first 3 events of the series here at Mesa Marin, he led 457 of the 625 laps. Nothing like seat time at a racetrack to give you that kind of confidence.
There really isn't. I mean, there's, you know, you put a lot of laps around any speedway, short track or whatever the case may be, and you feel that much more confident when you come back.
He's in a good bit of traffic, having now just led 100 laps today. Oh, look at those trucks kind of dancing in front of him. That's Butch Miller clearing out. Donnie Ling Jr. there, the Auto Palace truck.
Yeah, he's about to put a bunch of good trucks down a lap here.
31, Tony Roper, about to go a lap down.
Clear. This is where you can't even help, but, you know, you want to conserve your brakes like we saw last night at that Winston West race. I was sitting up in the bleachers, and those cars were going into the corner. You could fry an egg on the road. That's how red they were. And when you get around traffic like this, even though you've tried to be conservative, trying to get in the corner a little bit easier and using the compression, you know, in the motor to get you slowed down, you can't help but to use them real hard in traffic like that.
Having gone around the Dana Dodge, Kevin Sawinski in his 2nd series start after winning the ASA championship. He is now a lap down. Next, that's Dave Resendiz. You know the key here, though, look how well Hornaday's running low when he has to.
Right, he was up at the top of the track, and now when he's got to... Whoa. I'll be quiet now.
But you're right, anytime he has to go high, he can go high, low, he can go low. Around Ron Esau now from Lakeside, California. Ron has run here many times in the past. Now Chuck Bowen in the 99. He is 17th being lapped. Chuck ran here 20 years ago. not since then. He said, yeah, for all intents and purposes, I've never been here. He said it was 20 years ago last he raced here. 127 laps on the board. Nobody's able to challenge Ron Hornaday. Coming up next Sunday, 300 miles an hour plus on the quarter mile. The NHRA taking on one of the fastest tracks on the schedule, the Texas Motorplex, the Revell Nationals. Next Sunday afternoon at 5:30 Eastern Time. Bob Fry and Steve Evans and the boys giving you the coverage right here on TNN Motorsports. That's coming up next Sunday. There's Ron Hornaday, took the lead at lap 21. We are now at lap 136. He has not been headed since. Kevin Harvick took some shots at him, couldn't quite grab the lead, and now he's just lapping everybody and his brother. There you see Randy Tolsma. He is now 7.5 seconds behind Hornaday, but he's running in third position. Tolsma is. You know, we were laughing before about Bobby Banana, the mascot from Dole Bananas, but in all seriousness, Randy Tolsma and Bobby Banana are going to be at the UCLA Medical Center on Wednesday. It's what they call a Day with the Racers program that was started by Tolsma and his wife Tiffany way back in 1992, when they take a day or two and go visit youngsters who are in critical need of some cheering up in local medical facilities. And this coming Tuesday, or Wednesday I should say, they'll be at the UCLA Medical Center visiting with some young folks. But here's another guy who ran here in the past. He ran USAC events here. He was really pumped. Of course, Dave Fuge is on board now as the new crew chief for the number 61 truck. All those things come together and pay off. Up front, there's Hornaday going around the 46 of Joe Bean.
Boy, Hornaday has really put some good trucks a lap down here. He's only like 0.4 of a second before he laps Jack Sprague and all the others that he's put down. I mean, he's setting a pretty good pace after the first half.
141 laps on the board. And the halfway break is at lap 150. That's when they pay the Gatorade Front Runner Award. Then they actually take the break at lap 151. Mike Bliss and Kevin Harvick, that's the separation they've got between 4th and 5th spot right now. Meanwhile, Glenn Jarrett's down on the pit lane, checking on other stories.
Well, Eli, actually, I'm following Harvick. We're seeing him right now. He was second. He has dropped to 5th. And Mike Wallace, who has done a whale of a job coming up from 18th position, now running in 6th, is about to take 5th from Harvick. We're seeing the results of him running that truck down low early on. The tires are gone on that truck. He simply cannot get around this racetrack. He's getting ready to lose 5th spot. So that's what we were talking about earlier on, about saving those tires. He doesn't have much left.
And there goes Mike Wallace again. First time ever at this Mesa Marin Raceway. Jeff Fuller, how long for a veteran like yourself, like a Mike Wallace, like any veteran of a sport, to get comfortable at a track that they had never been on until Friday of this week?
I think that, you know, because Mike Wallace and myself, we've been doing it for so long that when you get to a track, you've been to enough of them where you can always compare it to some other track that you've been at and be pretty close with the setup. You know, when they came down here for practice, I'm sure he was comfortable probably, you know, the second practice he was out there.
Giving Kenny Schrader's truck a good run. Timmy Cahuth and the boys on hand. Joe Bean has taken his truck behind the wall, joining Bill Sedgwick, Brian Ruffner, and Dave Rezendes. Now, here's Jack Sprague in the 24 and Rick Crawford in the 14, trying to be the best they can. Stay on the lead lap, can't do it.
Oh man, that really hurts, because there's 3 laps left. I mean, you know, Jack Sprague is driving his heart out right now. You know, now there's 2.5 laps left. That's all you need to stay in the lead lap.
Until halfway, yeah.
Yep. Not good. I mean, it's good for Ron Hornaday.
Rick Crawford can't quite stay on the lead lap, though he's going to give it all he can. That team, the 14, operating without their crew chief, Roland Wolotica. Roland is back home building a new truck for Fontana, California next week.
I'll tell you what, Tony Raines and Rich Bickle stand to go down here. I mean, here you've got one lap left, and they're about to get lapped.
Looking outside.
Oh, Hornaday trying to put as many trucks as he can down into turn 3, coming to halfway. Raines in the Pennzoil Dodge. He's a lap down, and they slide towards the crossed flags. Now they'll be getting the yellow next time by. I don't believe he's going to catch Bickle. I don't know if he'll have enough to get Rich Bickle. This is to put the 17 truck a lap down. Caution by a truck lane.
That's what Rich Bickle is saying right now. Man, somebody's looking out for me up there. His heart was a pounding, I'm sure.
Tony Toast taking his truck to the garage. A bit of a higher attrition rate than we may have expected here in the first half. We'll be back in a moment. CNN Motorsports live coverage from Bakersfield, California is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road, and by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. We have reached the halfway point of the Jam with the Ram, the Dodge California Truck Stop 300. Glad you are with us here live at Mesa Marin Raceway in Bakersfield, California. There you see Glenn Jarrett alongside Ron Hornaday's truck. There's Jay Sauter, and he's getting service in the crew. Let us go to pit road, Glenn.
And we're going to talk to Ron Hornaday, the wild man from Palmdale. Boy, you had a close call up there with Tony Raines putting him a lap down, but that truck looks awesome.
I'm sorry. What was that again?
I said you had a close call putting Raines a lap down, but your truck is awesome.
Well, I hate to put Jack a lap down. I was hoping I could get Rich, too, but I didn't know how many laps were left, and I didn't know where the 3 truck was, and I'll tell you what, these guys are awesome in Napa Chevrolet. They never stop. We didn't qualify that good, but they keep after it. I don't know what to say, but tell you what, I got to say congratulations to my kid. He won the Rookie of the Year last night, and it's pretty neat. He finished in the top 10 in points.
Well, congratulations. One more question. You're not going to change anything on this, are you?
We were talking about it, but I just don't know how good. I think I showed everybody my line up top last year. I ran the bottom, and Fred came out here and he said, hey, I raced the top up here in a modified. I'm 1 for 1, so why don't you try the top today? So we did.
We heard you say it was a little tight. Just to give you a word right quick before I leave, Fred said that he was going to look at the right front, but he wasn't changing anything. We'll go over here and talk to Jack Sprague right now, and I know that they're not happy at all with their truck. They're making some major changes over here. Jack's still sitting in the truck, and we'll see if we can get a word with him. Jack, thing looked like it was pretty loose out there.
I didn't hear what you said, Glenn, but Puerto State Chevrolet's awful tight. I can't turn this thing. Just got to hope for the best now. Hopefully we can get it turning and still get a top 10 out of this thing.
Well, Hornaday said he tried to put Bickle a lap down. You fell a lap behind right there at the end, but this thing's not over. You guys are pretty good at adjusting this thing.
Well, let's hope they're real good today.
Well, you can tell that Jack is pretty disappointed, and you can also tell why I don't drive anymore, because I thought it was loose and he said it was tight.
This is the 13th and final short track race of the year, and everybody trying to improve it from here. It's on to 2 miles at California, a mile at Phoenix, and the 1.5-mile speedway in Las Vegas. The halftime break still has a couple of minutes remaining. Ron Hornaday is the leader. Jay Sauter is second. Randy Tolsma third. Mike Bliss is fourth. And Mike Wallace runs fifth. Let's go down there to the number 3 truck and hear from Jay Sauter. Glenn?
Hey, and a great job Jay Sauter did for your first weekend ever running at this racetrack. He came out here last night, ran the Winston West race, and looks like you learned something. This truck looks good, Jay.
Well, I'll tell you, these Goodwrench guys gave me a great truck, and the key to these tracks that I'm a rookie at is getting laps, and the Winston West race was a great help last night. The key here is going to be tire management and doing a good job in traffic. I think the smartest guy will win this race at the end.
Have you got anything left for Ron Hornaday?
Time will tell.
Hey, I like that. Time will tell, and it's almost time to restart this thing. Eli?
Glenn, how bad are the tires looking that are coming off those trucks? pretty well worn?
Well, you know, they're not that bad. I mean, they're worn down. There's not a whole lot of rubber left on them, but I'm not seeing any cords. That's what everybody was afraid of, that they would wear the things down, excuse me, to the steel belts. But I don't see that at all. They're pretty well shot, but, you know, no excessive wear. So I think Goodyear has done a good job. And also, as Jay said, the guys have done a good job with tire management. That's going to be the key to the second half. We keep pounding that point home, but the guy that takes care of his tires is going to win this race.
And again, Goodyear bringing that different tire, the one that the NASCAR Winston Cup and Busch Series teams run in New Hampshire and Richmond, has been a big difference from this race 1 year ago. We're coming right back. Let's take a look at where everybody is running as we get set to begin the second half of the Dodge California Truck Stop 300. Rich Bickle barely staying on the lead lap, and you realize everybody else is a lap down. Only the top 9 have been spared by Mr. Hornaday thus far.
That is unbelievable. I mean, he has really set a torrid pace at the beginning part of this, and obviously he's a smart enough driver where he's still got a little bit left. I mean, you know, you don't want to use everything you've got in the first half, so it's going to be interesting to see how strong he is in his second half.
There you see some who are behind the wall. Norick, Bean, Toast, and Resendiz. They are behind the wall. And rounding out the starting field of 34 in total, you've got Brian Ruffner in 31st. He was not on our screen there. Mylan Garrett in 32nd. Bill Sedgwick in 33rd. And Doug George in 34th. Those are all of the starters for you in today's running of the Dodge California Truck Stop 300. We've talked so much about everybody else, Jeff Fuller. We have established at the top of our telecast that you're still in the top 20 in the NASCAR Busch Series point standings. What's the future looking like for you?
Well, we're still got our eyes and ears open. We haven't got anything in concrete for next year, nothing signed or whatever. And obviously, the sooner that we can get something done, the better off we'll be. But I'd like to stay in the Busch Series. And like I say, I feel very good that something is going to come up. But like I say, we haven't signed anything yet.
As far as the run for the championship, we certainly hope everything works out well for Jeff Fuller there. The 3 teams in the championship hunt. There you see what Sprague, Bickle, and Ruttman have done. Sprague now in 12th spot. Bickle in 9th. Joe Ruttman here at halfway, running in 23rd position today. Of course, you got to figure that Ron Hornaday's kind of back on track now, too, huh? 16th at Richmond, 32nd at Martinsville, 26th a week ago at Sears Point, and now finally this. So it looks as though he's back. Of course, before that, Glenn, he had 8 straight top 5s. So, it seems as though the season's kind of gone in streaks for Ron Hornaday.
Oh, absolutely. And we were monitoring his conversation with Fred Graves just now. They were a little concerned about fuel. Fred said, we're going to be okay. Meanwhile, up the road in Mike Wallace's pit, Timmy Cahoot, his crew chief, just told me that we're being waved off now. We got one more to go, after one to go here. So, but anyway, Timmy told me that they ran out halfway down the backstretch before Mike got the truck back in the pits here. But the one thing that Timmy's got to remember is they ran about 6 pace laps that we won't have quite that many. So they're concerned, but they think they'll have enough fuel. But it's going to be close for some of these guys.
I think everybody also banking on the fact that, as we've seen in the last couple of years, 13 and 14 caution periods, we had only 4 during the actual running of the race, this being the 5th here for halfway. So we're well under the number of caution laps that maybe those scorers and all the teams had factored in.
Yeah, you were talking, Eli, about how good, Ron Hornaday must feel. He was the first truck out of the pits at the halfway point. He was sitting over there, parked over in turn 3, just waiting for the rest of the trucks to come out. So you know that they're not having to hustle and bustle like the other 9 trucks that were in the lead lap have got to make a decision. Do we change a spring rubber? Do we pull a rubber out, put a rubber in, change a sway bar? They're set to go. They're in really good shape.
Getting set for the restart. Hornaday jumps on it. He's gone. Sauter in the black number 3 is second. Randy Toll Tolsma, the 61 truck, is third. Mike Bliss in the 2 is running fourth. Mike Wallace in the 52 is fifth. Rick Crawford there in the 14 had just gone a lap down before the halfway break. So for the moment, he has unlapped himself. He's on the tail end of the lead lap, and there's Mylan Garrett, who does a little agricultural racing coming off of turn 2. First time in 12 years he has competed. He tried to make the race at Sears Point last week, but was unable to do so.
Tony Raines just gets another gets his lap back too. You can tell that they weren't happy going a lap down. I mean, you definitely can't win this from a lap down, and they're praying for a caution now.
So 11 teams now on the lead lap.
Oh, 3 wide. Don't do it. 3 wide.
Let's see. Tolsma will get the lead out of all of that.
2 wide now.
Bliss may get second. 61, Tolsma the leader. Hornaday coming through. Lap 154, led by Randy Tolsma, the Idaho native. First time he has ever led in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It'll be a short-term lead. Hornaday takes him back at the stripe. Glenn?
Still there.
What great racing we're seeing here, guys. But one thing, remember, Hornaday took about 20 laps before he got the lead in the first half of the race. The truck was just a little bit tight. As he gets a little bit of rubber worn off the tires on that number 16, then it really frees up. So right now, the truck's just a little bit tight. That's why we saw Rick Crawford and Tony Raines get their lap back, and Tolsma moves back under him again as they go into one.
Eli, what Glenn was just saying, you know, taking 20 laps to come in or whatever, what you want to do on the start of a long run like this is they'll probably start the right side tires down 5 pounds and the left side's down like 3 pounds, because after you run 20 laps, if a recommended air pressure is like 30 pounds for the right side and 20 pounds for the left side, if you start them at 30 and 20, they might build up to, you know, 35 or 38 or whatever. So it does take that much time to get these radials up to temperature to get the correct air pressure in them.
Randy Tolsma, the race leader. That big bunch of traffic right behind him. Many of those trucks are laps down. The 2 truck of Bliss is second. The 16 of Hornaday is third. The 52 of Mike Wallace is fourth. The 75 of Kevin Harvick is running in fifth. Others, though, there, the 98, couple of laps down for Kenny Irwin. The 24 green truck for Jack Sprague. The Quaker State machine is a lap down. Rob Rizzo in the 27. Keselowski, the 29, laps down. But this is for position. This is for third.
Still there.
Hornaday, the 16. Sauter, the 3. Harvick, the 75. Those trucks battling for position.
There.
There's old Harvick with those left side tires in the dirt again. Hornaday ran away certainly in the first half. This, though, is really a heck of a battle right here.
This really is. Like I say, I mean, you know, 1 pound of air pressure in a radial tire is like 25 or 50 pounds on spring rate. And if some of the teams want to start with like 4 under and some want to go like 6 under, well, the people that go 4 under, they're gonna sprint quicker. They're gonna be able to get up to speed quicker and feel better. But then at the end of the run, they're probably not going to be as good. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I still think that Hornaday is waiting for his to get up.
That's for the lead right there. The 52, Mike Wallace, around Randy Tolsma. That was for the lead. And so the pass shall be, because Donnie Ling in the 68 will keep the race leader behind. So give Mike Wallace the lead at lap 164. First time here. Tell you, Kenny Schrader came so darn close to winning in Talladega earlier today until the Labonte brothers combined to draft past him on the last couple of laps. Maybe Kenny Schrader will salvage a victory from his team through Mike Wallace here today. So a couple of new names near the front. Mike Wallace right there, and his second place man, Randy Tolsma, just past halfway.
LCI residential long-distance customers receive 30 minutes of free domestic calling and the World Card Plus calling card featuring participating drivers. Don't delay. Call now 1-888-TEAM-LCI.
Welcome back to Bakersfield. Hey, folks, as soon as we move aside, remember, tonight on TNN, it's the rodeo that every cowboy wants to win, the Las Vegas PBR World Finals. And if you've never seen a rodeo, this is the one to watch. Check all the action live from Las Vegas. As soon as we move aside, in about 57 minutes from now, 7 o'clock Eastern, it's all right here on TNN. Caution on the speedway for a twofold problem. That is Kelly Denton, who takes the Charles Hardy-owned Ortho truck to the garage. Also seeing a lot of smoke from behind the Pennzoil Dodge of Tony Raines. And NASCAR decides to take a good look at the racetrack because there was a concern that both of those trucks were putting some fluid and debris down on the speedway. So at lap 174, there's the Raines truck. He is still out there, but Kelly Denton has brought his to the garage, Glenn, and I don't know which truck looked to be in worse shape.
I believe it was Kelly Denton. I saw some fluid and smoke come out of his as he went into one right as we came back from break there. So I think he's the reason for the caution. Tony Raines, I asked his guys what was going on, and there's a little damage to the left ear he's bringing in right now. They think it's just a tire rubbing. He had some contact with the truck that he was passing there, and so they're going to the right side maybe right now to maybe try to pull that fender off the tire. I can't really see. You guys can see better from that side exactly what they're doing.
They're working on the right rear. As you see Tony Raines waiting. They splashed in some fuel. Well, they just do. You can see it crinkled in just a bit. As the truck comes by us, you'll get a better view at home.
Yeah, it looks like somebody get into his right rear there. You can see the rubber right there. They put some tape on it so it won't stop flapping, but it doesn't. I don't think that'll affect the handling of the truck at all.
Meanwhile, they are going to have to put some speedy dry down in the aftermath of Kelly Denton's problems. So why don't we break away and take care of some business? We're at lap 175 of 300. Mike Wallace is the leader in Bakersfield. Coverage of the Dodge California Truck Stop 300 is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. We are back at the beautiful Mesa Marin Raceway in Bakersfield, California. Marion Collins, the track owner here. It was his son Gary Collins who first built and tested one of these prototypes for a NASCAR Craftsman truck series, and Mesa Marin hosted the very first exhibition race for the series. We are set to go green. Mike Wallace, the race leader, in his 12th event of the year. Mike Bliss right behind him in the 2 truck running second. There's old Jack Sprague in the 24 trying to get a lap back. Quite do it as they steamroll back to 3. And just joining us, the 98 of Kenny Irwin, still being sown. Couple of laps down. He's in 13th position. Kelly Denton has parked his truck for the day with engine failure. His best finish has been 6th this year. The same as for that yellow truck behind there. That was Randy Tolsma who led earlier. He too has finished best of 6th this year there in the 61 machine.
You can see that Jack Sprague still, he's climbing up the bank into the middle of the corner. He's turning the wheel, and the wheel just not listening to what he's going to say. He commented at halftime there that that the truck wouldn't turn. Doesn't look like it's much better yet.
Still a lap down is the man who leads the points. MCI presenting NASCAR timing and scoring for you across the top of the screen. Behind the 2 truck of Bliss, you've got Hornaday running in 3rd. Kevin Harvick 4th. Randy Tolsma is 5th. Jay Sauter running in 6th. You see the rundown now. Pick out the name of your favorite driver. From 25th on back, Bean and the remainder, they are all in the garage area. And done for the day. Whoa, big trouble off into the corner from Kenny Irwin's truck.
like he's got
Looks
a
like
left
he's
front
left front.
flat.
Yep, you can see the way the truck is listening from our seat. Watch him there. You see the way that truck is leaning on the left front.
On pit road.
See, they don't have inner liners here. They just, you know, you go to the bigger speedways here, you got to run an inner liner in there, and they don't have one. So that blew right getting into one.
That's strange, Glenn. 2 cut tires today, and both for the same truck.
Yeah, that is strange. You know, I happened to be looking right at him as he went down the front stretch, and it was going down as he crossed the start-finish line. I was trying to get on to say, watch out for Irwin because he's got a problem, and boom, there it went. But he has had terrible luck here. As I mentioned earlier, he just can't seem to have any good luck at all here. Got a great battle for the lead.
This is for the lead. Mike Bliss in the 2, who led the first 19 laps of the day from the push pole, and the 52 of Mike Wallace. We see Sprague just ahead of them. He's now on the tail end of the lead lap, Jack is. And here comes Kenny Irwin in the 98.
He desperately wants to stay on that, you know, right there and not lose another lap.
Outside.
See, when they rub like that, believe it or not, just a rub like that could get that fender into the tire. You know, even though you don't see much smoke or whatever, it could, there you go again, it could be enough to get that fender in there and cut that tire down after a number of laps.
He is 4 down already. Gonna be a frustrating day for Kenny Irwin.
Really does.
Oh,
careful.
Goes Sauter.
That got his attention.
Yeah. Sauter will swing on through to grab the 4th spot if he can stay ahead of Hornaday.
Still clear behind you.
Makes the pass. So it's Wallace, Bliss, Harvick, Sauter, and then Hornaday. That's your top 5.
That was the 61 that did that.
Conversations on the radios. Here's the battle for the lead again. Mike Bliss for the first time since lap 19 in the 2 truck. Remember, he's had a top 5 in every race the series has run here at Mesa Marin Raceway. Give him the lead at lap number 193. So in lap 193, Mike Bliss will grab the lead away from Mike Wallace. As we've been telling you about how well he's been running here in Bakersfield over the years. I guess the most frustrating thing for a guy like Kenny Irwin is every time he's had his problems, but he's been able to hang with the leaders once he got back out there with a fresh Goodyear tire.
Right. It's pretty helpless feeling knowing that, you know, if you're 4 laps down, you get a fast truck like that. Obviously, today's not his lucky day. There's a lot of sheet metal damage on the right side of that 2 truck. I don't know who he came in contact with, but you see this right side of the truck right there. He's definitely had some casual contact there.
Casual contact.
That's what you call it on short track racing.
Okay. I've heard it described otherwise.
Yeah, in the heat of the moment.
I would think so. Tony Raines running in the 11th spot. There's the Pennzoil Dodge. What are you hearing from that bunch, Glenn?
He's got problems, Eli. When he goes by the start-finish line and if deceleration go into 1, a big puff of blue smoke comes out of it, and that's not tire smoke. That's engine oil smoke of some kind. Also, you noted that Sprague got his lap back. He must have heard you talking, Jeff, because right now he's about 0.2 of a second a lap quicker than Mike Bliss. So looks like he's found something, maybe another groove, but he definitely is running better.
Sprague running a 20.238 the last time around to a 21-second lap for Mike Bliss. So the last time by, indeed, a significant edge. You saw that smoke right there. You see where he decelerates, lets off the gas? That was what Glenn was talking about on the 19 truck of Tony Raines. Second place, a good battle now. Let's go to that one as Hornaday holds on to second spot with Mike Wallace in the 52 behind. They go around Milan Garrett. It's Bliss, Hornaday, Mike Wallace, Kevin Harvick, and Jay Sauter. Randy Tolsma now back to 6th. Stacy Compton, remember him? We talked about the guy who likes to conserve his tires. He's now in 7th with 100 laps to go.
In front of you is the leader,
and he's closing. This is a good battle for 4th now. As we see the leader right there, Bliss, trying to put Kenny Irwin yet another lap down. 99 laps to go at Mesa Marin. Welcome back. Our point standings update brought to you by Auto Vent Shade, the original vent visor, the most practical accessory for your truck. That's how it looked coming into the event. 77 among the top couple. And there you see the top 10. 606 points back to Butch Miller. Riding now with Ron Hornaday, and there is Jack Sprague. Jack is in 12th. If you're curious, Rich Bickle, who is 2nd in points, he's running 9th. Joe Ruttman, who is 3rd in points, is running 21st. Ron Hornaday, who is 4th in points, is now running 2nd. And Mike Bliss, 5th in points, is now the race leader. So that's how everybody is stacking up here in the final third of the event. You saw a good look at Jay Sauter right there in the 3, Randy Tolsma, the 61, Kevin Harvick, the 75, and then the lapped machine of Rob Rizzo. Yeah, he has made up a lot of distance today, picking up 10 positions, Jay Sauter. Just joining us, Mike Bliss from the pole led the first 19 laps. Kenny Irwin led lap 20, and then Ron Hornaday led from lap 21 through 153. Randy Tolsma then led a couple of laps. Hornaday led 1, Tolsma led 5 more. Then Mike Wallace took over and led just about 50 laps. Actually led just about 30 laps before Mike Bliss reassumed the lead at lap 193. We're now at lap 214. We've had 6 caution periods. Most recently, Kelly Denton losing an engine at lap number 174. In the garage, Bill Sedgwick, Brian Refner, his 10th DNF of the year for Refner. Dave Resendiz, Joe Beam, Tony Toast, and Kelly Denton. Mylan Garrett having parked his truck now as well. And you are up to date. Randy Tolsma finished 6th at Indianapolis earlier this year. He had a 9th at Richmond International Raceway, and that number 61. Of course, you should note those are 2 tracks at which he used to run USAC events. Same thing here. Now a good battle for 2nd spot. Actually, that right there is the battle for 4th. There's the battle for 2nd as Hornaday holds off Mike Wallace's challenge for the moment.
Still there. Clear.
This is for 2nd place. Clear. Behind Mike Bliss. From Bliss back to the battle you're riding with is 1 9/10 seconds. Folks at Napa bring you NASCAR timing and scoring. Lap 220 of 300. One 7/10 seconds now. That's the deficit Hornaday has. There goes Sauter sneaking alongside Harvick. That's for 4th and 5th.
Mike Bliss just went back around Kenny Irwin, and that was flip-flop before, but now Kenny Irwin goes right back by him. And Mike Bliss's left side tires are in the dirt every lap, while the 98 truck is running up much higher.
Of course, he's 4 laps down. The 98 of Irwin is. Bliss is not going to abuse his truck just to keep Irwin another lap in arrears at this point. Good side-by-side for second. And there you see side-by-side for 4th and 5th. That battle now shakes down while just ahead. Still side-by-side for a moment. The 16 and the 52. That battle is now broken away. We can smell one truck with a rear end problem out there.
Right.
Smell that acidy smell that is now all over this Mesa Marin Raceway.
Rear end or a transmission, and usually after about 20 laps of smelling it, you'll see a truck fall out. That was the victim. I mean, it builds up so much heat that it, you know, it'll finally blow up.
55 laps to
It's
go.
not a pretty smell.
Yeah.
It is not a pretty smell.
Not at all. And it's even worse in the car.
Or the car, for those of you who don't speak Massachusetts. We're coming right back. For Sony PlayStations and the Sega Saturn system, it is T&M Motorsports Hardcore 4x4. If you're a racer and you like to be part of it, you need to check out the new look of that Hardcore 4x4. They say it is so good, you can just kind of scrape the dirt off your own TV set. For more information about the T&M Motorsports Hardcore 4x4, check out T&M's website, www.country.com. They'll give you all the information on Hardcore 4x4. Welcome back with Jeff Fuller and Glenn Jarrett. Eli Gold, 231 laps on the board. There's your race leader, Mike Bliss, took over at lap 193. He started from the pole, led the first 19 laps, and then again at lap 193.
He's got some space now between him and Ron Hornaday that's about stayed the same, but Ron has pulled away from Mike Wallace now, so that is definitely two different lines that they're running though, and I still don't know what conserves the tires more, running down low or running up high. I think it's how you enter and exit the corner.
This is 6th place, and the guy we've talked all day about it, Mr. Tire Conservation, is getting closer. Number 86, Stacy Compton. Now he's going way high and just freeing the truck up, and apparently that's the way for him at least to save tires.
He's a great one at saving tires, like you were mentioning before in the show.
He even was in late model stock cars. If you remember, if you watched his career develop, particularly in the long races, every long late model stock car race he'd enter, he'd win. Not necessarily the short ones, but the long ones, he was always the guy to win.
Where you really have to conserve.
Yeah. Grab the spot away, give him 6th now as he goes around Harvick in the 75. That battle ongoing. Of course, they are a goodly distance, though, behind the race leader, Mike Bliss. Bliss has 1 2/10 on 2nd place, Ron Hornaday, and that battle right there is 6 6/10 seconds behind the race leader. So conserving tires is all well and good. Final 60 some odd laps, you got to turn the wick up just a touch.
It's getting about that time to do that.
Jimmy Hensley now entering the picture there, the number 43. He's running in 8th spot. There's Jimmy. There's Rich Bickle in the 17. He is running in 9th position. Rizzo is between them. He is not on the lead lap. Now Rick Crawford, he's running in 10th spot, the number 14 Circle Bar entry. Very talented young racer out of Mobile, Alabama. And as we said, last couple of weeks, that team operating without their crew chief, Roland Walonica, who's back home building a new truck for next week's trip to Fontana, California.
Mike Bliss just come up off the 2nd turn there, and really got crossed up loose coming up off the corner.
And here's the battle for the lead now. Hornaday.
Still there.
He has caught and passed Bliss with that high groove move. Lap 240. Give it to Hornaday.
This would be interesting to see if Mike Bliss changes his line now, if he moves up where Hornaday was running, because that might be the case running that lower line. He might have worn them tires out a little bit more than Ron did.
Well, this is very much like what we saw in the first half of the race. Took Hornaday a while to get to the front. Oh, and a little smoke from behind his truck. Smoke from behind Hornaday. We are under caution, lap 245. Problems for Ron Hornaday. Remember we told you about 25 laps ago we smelled the rear end coming out of one of these trucks, and you said, Jeff Fuller, said 20 laps or so, somebody's going to pull in.
Boy, that was a lucky deal, Eli. I didn't know I should have been a betting man. I should have been in Las Vegas instead of Los Angeles.
The rear end on this truck went out in Martinsville also. And now watch what happens. Here's where we left you on the commercial break, just as Bliss took the lead. And you'll just watch the pictures.
That thing is toasty, toasty hot right about there. See, he's already got his window net down. He's getting ready to bail right now.
And he's already on the radio. We were listening at the time. He was telling the crew, I'm all right, I'm all right. He led 3 times for 140 laps, and as he comes to a stop, the flames will begin to billow out yet again. But scary, scary moment for Ron Hornaday. Watch it again. What is this? His rear end grease beginning to drip?
Yeah, that rear end just got so hot. And again, you don't know if maybe a plug. I don't think that they left a plug loose or whatever, but when you don't have fluid in there and there's no oil to lubricate it, it just fries it.
So Ron Hornaday in the garage, joining Bill Sedgwick, Brian Reffner, Dave Rezendes, Joe Bean, Tony Toast, Kelly Denton, and Mylan Garrett on our attrition list. Glenn, looks like the man's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. He's disappointed, a little bit hot. And Ron, you had a hot truck, but that's not the kind of hot you wanted.
Well, I don't know what it is. We got a problem with gear oil or something, but that's 3 weeks in a row. It broke a rear end. Napa Chevrolet was awesome. I just got to thank everybody for the support. We're going to come back. I don't know what to say. The truck was pretty good. I go when I wanted to go, and I can lay back when I wanted to. But Fred and all the guys at Napa Chevrolet has been awesome, and you can't get down. When you're running good like that and stuff happens like that, that's racing.
Well, he said it exactly right. That's what it is. It's tough luck. He definitely has a dominant truck here today, guys.
And you see the gentleman in there in the glasses, Fred Graves, noted crew chief from Mexico, New York. And he's a darn talented man right there. And you can see they're so disappointed. Heck, they led 140-plus laps here today. Well, it's going to take a while to clean things up, so it's a chance for us to take a look at this weekend's AutoZone Tech Fact. Ron Fellows tells us about getting his truck ready to go short track racing.
Ron Fellows has won 19 Trans Am events in his career. However, he is a relative newcomer to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, but he did get his first victory back at Watkins Glen a couple of months ago by making the truck feel as much like a Trans Am car as he could. He's trying the same thing here at Bakersfield. Ron, what are you doing to it to make it feel good on a half mile?
Well, I'm not too sure yet. Billy has done a great job for us. You know, we went to Watkins Glen basically concerned about getting the truck to turn. And a lot of that, Billy went to work on the geometry and playing with the upper A-arms, what you see here. And turning is very critical here at Bakersfield. And we've messed with the camber gain and the geometry here with the upper A-arms again to try and get it to turn real well here. So far, it's not been great, but I think some of it's the driver.
Well, the driver will learn. This is the truck that he won Watkins Glen with. It worked one time. They're hoping it'll work again.
Now, he's running 24th right now, Ron Fellows is. But one of the other changes he has made, Jeff Fuller, is that he's using the same Alcon brake system on the truck that he uses in the SCCA Trans Am series because he's used to the feel of that brake pedal.
Yeah, like Ron was saying, I mean, the brakes are so important. You know, you figure, well, why to go fast do you need brakes? This is a perfect example of being at a track like this where you got to be hard on the brake to go fast, and obviously that's good brake. When he was talking about the shorter A-frame, that just induces more camber into the wheels quicker.
And there you see Fellows on pit road. Jay Sauter has been in. Jack Sprague is on pit road. There he is. Boris Said is also in for service. Jared, what are they doing?
Eli J. Sauter came down. He had a left front tire flat. Man, we're seeing a lot of tires cut down here. But remember, with the wear and as low as they're running on the racetrack, we've commented how many times sometimes they get that left front off of the paved surface. It picks up a little pebble, as hot as it is. Easy to puncture that tire. Sprague came in. He got it. Well, he was already on the lead lap. And, in fact, he had gained about a half lap on the field. They brought him in to make a slight chassis adjustment. They think they can get him back to the top 5 or 6. So a couple of really good trucks there making last-minute pit stops here. Also, everybody that pitted topped off with fuel. They're taking no chances on not being able to go all the way.
Others making their stops include Tony Toast, who has come out of the garage area. He's running again. But there is the race leader, Mike Bliss, as we're at lap 250 of 300. TNN coverage of the Dodge California Truck Stop 300 is brought to you by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. We are back under green, a lap now, and Mike Bliss shows the way. Mike Wallace running in the second spot. Randy Tolsma is in third. Those three trucks together. You got Stacy Compton, Mr. Tire Conservation. He is now up to fourth, and Jimmy Hensley is running in the fifth spot. Kevin Harvick restarted in sixth. Rich Bickle seventh. Ricky Crawford in eighth. Tony Raines in ninth, and Jay Sauter restarting in 10th. 11th was Jack Sprague. Those 11 trucks on the lead lap. Now second place, Tolsma in that yellow number 61. Inside the 52, couldn't make it work against Mike Wallace. The 61 truck kind of skated off the corner just a bit. Glenn, regardless of what happens, Tolsma's having himself a heck of a day.
Oh, he's had a great day, Eli. You know, I was just counting back to the end of the first half of the race. That's when Tolsma really started to come on. There's about 45 laps to go now, or really about, I guess, 42 or 43 now. 41, I see the scoreboard. But this is when his truck really came alive a while ago. Was right at the end of this run. He was definitely the fastest truck on the racetrack. I think he might have something for both Mike Wallace and Mike Bliss.
I will find out. Let's watch what happens here for second. Mike Wallace ahead of Randy Tolsma. Again, Wallace a first-timer here. Tolsma's been here many times, mostly in USAC sprint competition. And there you see the spread from that single truck, Mike Bliss. He is the leader. Back to those two. That's second and third. And a bit further back to Compton in the 86, Hensley in the 43. Compton, he's running fourth. Hensley is fifth. Rich Bickle, who is right behind them, he too in battle for position there in the 17. There you see him. Rich is in sixth. Then the Harvick 75 truck on the move. He's in seventh. And the blue Rick Crawford, number 14 and 8. All of those trucks together battling for position.
And they were, at the beginning of the show, they were like a truck length from being lapped.
Yeah, remember that? Jay Sauter, meanwhile, working. You saw a little smoke there out of Tony Raines' number 19 truck as he slid up through our picture. But there's Sauter in the 3. He's running in 9th. 24 Sprague, that green Quaker State truck. He is 10th. The 98 there, and the Butch Miller 20 truck just ahead. They are not on the lead lap. Kenny Irwin is some 4 laps down in 17th. Butch Miller a couple of laps down in that 20 truck. He's running 14th. Second place, still a good battle. There's the Wallace Tolsma battle going past the number 90 of Lance Norick, who was involved in an accident early, lap 66, and he spent a number of laps behind the wall for repairs.
Looks like Stacy.
Caution on the speedway in turn number 2. Right there, Butch Miller in the 20 truck. He's now in 16th position. See all sorts of problems here on the left rear.
Watch out for the 20 truck at the bottom in turn 2. At the bottom of turn 2. Give him a good wide swath. Go up high and get around it.
As the crews talk to their drivers, let them know of Butch Miller and his precarious spot there. He'll bring it on around. We just have a quick look at what happened here. Really the tail end of the incident. There he had already broken free.
That does so much damage when you're trying to get the truck back to the pits like that. And rip the fender off and
saw the same thing.
Brake line.
Yeah, same thing at Talladega today when Wally Dallenbach had to bring his car around the 2.66 miles to the garage area. It did all sorts of damage.
By the time it got back there, it looked like a modified.
Yeah, it did. You felt very much at home.
Yeah.
Let's go to Glenn Jarrett on pit road.
Guys, Butch had a problem coming off of turn 4 right before he got down in the middle of 1 and 2. I saw the truck slow. About 6 trucks passed him. As he came by, the left rear tire was flat. As he went down in the corner, it just simply turned around with him. He tried to spin it all the way around, keep it low out of harm's way. They're in now, just replacing the left rear tire, but it definitely went down on him before we got to that turn.
So Butch Miller repaired. He is back on the way and will be going green here in just about a lap or so. Field will get the 1-to-go signal. There is Mike Bliss, the race leader. No wins this year. 4 Busch poles, but no victories. Not to be surprised, though, at how well he's doing here on the short track. 9 of his 14 top 10s this year. He's at 14 top 10s. 9 of them have been on short track. So not to be surprised at how well he's running today.
You know, we gotta wonder when we were talking about before, some of these trucks elect to take that low line off the track in the dirt. And we really haven't seen any right side flat tires. All the flat tires we've seen are left side. I wonder if that what Glenn was saying could be true. I mean, you know, the tires are hot. They're down off the track, and you know that could definitely be why.
Mike Bliss hasn't won since July of '96, when we here on TNN Motorsports brought you the coverage on the I-70 Speedway in Odessa, Missouri. This year he has 3 second-place finishes, but no wins. Green flag in the air from Chris Morgan of Santa Barbara, California, the series chief starter. And now just 32 laps remain, 32 to go.
Right before that caution came out, the 86 Stacy Compton was closing the gap on the first 3 trucks there, and it looks like he's doing it again. He might have something there.
Maybe. You know who has been a surprise for the other side of the thing today is Rick Corelli, who has run here forever and has so many fine runs here. He's 12th, a lap down, never really battling for the lead today in that number 6 Remax truck of his. This will be good. See what happens. There's Corelli. We were just speaking of him. Rich Bickle trying to go by him. Corelli's run here since 1980. You know, we talked about Rick Crawford, too, in that blue number 14 truck we've been showing you at times. Like many others, this is his first ever visit to Mesa Marin, and he's doing himself proud, running in 7th. There are the front 4. All battling for position. The 5th truck, the 98, many laps down. Here goes Randy Tolsma in that yellow truck. I thought he was going to try and take advantage of Mike Wallace's wide move off the corner.
You can still see the 2 unique lines there that are totally different from the lead and back. Look at how much lower he is running.
Big difference. How close they are to the wall. 17 degrees of banking in the corners. The straightaways 7 degrees, virtually flat, and 700 feet long. 25 laps to go. Good battle here for position. This is for 6th. Rich Bickle, who has run just about every short track in the universe, against Rick Crawford, who's here for the very first time. If you're curious, Bickle running in 6th, Jack Sprague running in 10th. So only 4 positions between the 2. So if things stay as is, Bickle will pick up some points on the series point leader Sprague, but not a huge chunk. Again, this is for 6th. And Harvick is in the mix also, all three of those trucks.
See Harvick starring on that wheel coming up out of the corner.
Meanwhile, no change in the race lead. We'll just let you know about that should something transpire. We'll stay with this battle.
Look at him working that wheel inside there. Paid off.
Yep.
It's another position.
There you see first, second, and third. Bliss on the left of your screen, Mike Wallace, Randy Tolsma. And a half truck length out of your picture will be Stacy Compton. There he is. Followed by the lapped truck, the Ray Bestis machine of Kenny Irwin. For second place. Turn 4, trouble. Donnie Ling spins off the corner.
Sitting on the bottom,
no
coming out of
caution
turn
yet.
4, spinning around. Stay high, stay high.
No caution.
Green is still out, green is still out.
And the Auto Palace truck, sponsor that is so very much a part of the NASCAR Featherlight Modified Tour. The truck continues on its way, and we stay under green.
You heard the spotter in the background saying, stay high, the green is still out. It's very important because if your spotter comes over and says spin in 4, automatically you're going to lift off the gas assuming that the caution's going to come out. But a spotter that's on their feet and really paying attention will just warn you, just say, be cautious, but the green is still out.
That is the voice of Jeff Fuller. Now for the lead. Mike Wallace is going to try. Turn 3. 17 laps to go. Stacy Compton still in 4th. Jimmy Hensley 5th. Bickle 6th. Crawford 7th. Sauter is 8th. Harvick is 9th. Sprague is 10th. And Tony Raines. Those 11 trucks are on the lead lap. There's Sauter and Harvick, 8th and 9th.
Behind the 75.
The 3 and the 75. The 98 again, many laps down.
Clear there.
Consider it a good weekend, Jay Sauter. Having never been here before. Finished 26th last night in the NASCAR Winston West race. The Spears Manufacturing 250. Laps to go for Mike Bliss, the race leader. There's the separation. First to second, Mike Wallace. To third, Randy Tolsma. Again, a big difference in the lines are taken.
Huge difference. Before, you know, when we were sitting here trying to figure out, well, which way would conserve the tires better, it's really hard to tell. I think it's how you get it in there and get it turning, easing back into the gas more or less, and what line you take, because there's obviously two different lines there, and they're basically going about the same speed.
Riding with our race leader, Mike Bliss, in the 2. They will be getting 10 laps to go when they come to the stripe this time from Chris Morgan.
Boy, Bliss is getting a little bit loose coming up out now.
There you see the top 8 all tied together right now. No lapped machines in that mix.
Nothing held back now. I mean, you gotta go for the guts. Anything that you got. I mean, if you got to be real hard on the brake or whatever you got to do now, is the time to do it.
And here's Mike Wallace trying to turn it up just a bit. This is for the lead. Just about found the wall with 9 laps to go. Mike Wallace going for the lead. Fans on their feet yelling and screaming. Drag race to turn 3. 8 laps to go. Give Mike Wallace the top spot. Tolsma now challenging for second. Mike Wallace Wallace, who led laps 164 through 192, retakes the lead at lap 292. Starting 18th. Not over yet.
No.
Tolsma's so close, he wants it bad in that 61 truck. Here goes Randy Tolsma from Idaho.
Tell you, it looks like Randy might have some.
Oh, and Mike Wallace just about caught the wall.
Randy got into him a little bit there. Mike's running two unique lines here. He's high in 3 and 4. Now watch him go into 1. He'll be right in the dirt going into 1.
6 laps to go now. 6 to go. Back straight away. Tolsma wants the lead. He's there. Coming to the stripe, they touch. And Tolsma says that here comes Compton in the 86. Here comes Stacy Compton in the 86.
Boy, this is going to be a good finish here.
5 laps to go.
Your man there, Stacy Compton. Look at this. He is right there, ready to win a race with 5 laps left to go on an abrasive track that's really tough on tires.
He's done it all year. It was just one of those things. Here goes Tolsma again. Every time he tries an outside groove, the truck breaks loose.
Uh-oh, here we go.
He's got to run this time.
Sink it in there.
Tolsma.
And he did sink it in.
And see what happens. He waits and watches. Tolsma's got the lead. Tolsma at 297 has the lead.
Oh, there goes. Oh, Stacy. It's a good thing Mike backed off a little bit there.
Bliss is in 3rd. Wallace, you see, 4th. Sauter coming up to 5th. Jimmy Hensley is there in 6th. They're coming to the stripe.
Look at this.
2 laps to go. 2 laps to go for Randy Tolsma.
There goes the 3.
They'll go around Ron Esau.
Mike is
white flag.
Way up in.
White flag for the yellow truck, Randy Tolsma, with the Dole sponsorship on the side. He started 8th.
Look at this. That looks like he is going to win this race.
Randy Tolsma of Idaho wins. Compton by a half truck length comes home in 2nd. What a finish.
Boy, that was some great racing.
His first win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in his 13th start. And Glenn, he is the 10th different winner of 1997.
Yes, he is, Eli, and all the pandemonium back here, I've got Dave Fusion. Dave, what a great day for you guys. The truck was good, particularly late in the run.
Well, I tell you what, all the guys that were up front are all the guys that have experience in North Wilkesboro. And I've been beat up at North Wilkesboro so many times. I told Randy I didn't care how we qualified. We were going to work on the long setup. We're going to work with those Penske shocks, and we're going to get that Dole Food Chevrolet up front, and we did it. I got to thank Steve Coulter for putting this team together and letting us do what we need to do. IWX Motorsports, or Motor Freight, is great. I want to thank Timmy and my wife, Dawn, that couldn't be here today, and it's great. I wish you were all here.
Congratulations. Go celebrate, man.
Dave Fuse, the winning crew chief. He'll win the Plastic Coat Winning Finish Award, sponsored by Plastic Coat, the official spray paint of NASCAR. Plastic Coat presents $1,000 to Dave Fuse, as he is the winningest crew chief of this day. At the end of the year, the crew chief with the best average finish will win $10,000. So congratulations to the Dole Bunch. Big time win for Randy Tolsma. We'll be heading to Victory Lane. He's the guy we told you about who's going to spend Wednesday at the UCLA Medical Center visiting folks who need some cheering up.
Congratulated by everybody. Stacy Compton, who finished 2nd, just came up and said congratulations. In only your 13th, who said 13 wasn't lucky? In only your 13th Truck Series start, congratulations, Randy. Great job.
Thank you. It's been a long way to come. I'm pretty shaky. Dave Fuge came on board and T&L engines, and they've turned us around so much. Dole Fresh Fruit has came on to help IWX Motor Freight. And Steve and Joan Coulter, who gave my wife an opportunity to be successful. That's how this program started. And I can't say enough. We had some brand new Willwood brakes on the truck today that worked flawlessly all day. And Dave Fuge and these guys, I mean, I've bent some trucks up. I've missed some shows, but they've stuck with me. And that's what a team does. Individuals don't win, teams do.
Okay, one more question. Did you breathe at all in those last 10 laps?
No, my leg was shaking so hard on that accelerator, I couldn't hardly drive anymore. I was getting the truck loose with my foot.
Okay, congratulations. Let's go back up topside.
A super run for a real nice guy. Randy Tolsma out of Idaho. He has run here in the past in USAC. He said it paid off because he got the win here today. And a good run for Stacy Compton. He is our Mopar high performer of the event, coming home in second spot there. A little bench racing going on with Stacy and the crew. Troy Selberg is the crew chief for that bunch, and they all do a fine job. A strong second place run for Stacy Compton. We're coming back to wrap it up. A look at the rundown. Then the rodeo is coming up from Las Vegas, so you stay with us. Today's event, Randy Tolsma, first career win. Stacy Compton, Mike Bliss. There you see Sauter, Bickle, and down to Jack Sprague there, who comes home in 10th spot. While you look at the remainder of the results, we'll tell you that with the finishing order as you see it, the spread is now just 56 points. 56 from first place Jack Sprague back to second place Rich Bickle. So Rich has picked up just about 19 points today, 20 points over where he started this afternoon. Joe Ruttman remains in third. He will lose some 30 points to the front two. But heck of a battle today, especially in particular when Hornaday went out. Tough break for him, but it really opened up an opportunity for a very, very deserving Randy Tolsma, who makes that move right there, grabs the lead from Mike Wallace at lap 297 and takes it out of the house. Hope you've enjoyed. We invite you now to stay tuned. Coming up next, the biggest rodeo of the year, the Las Vegas PBR World Finals. If you've never seen a rodeo, stick around. The one coming up next is the one to see. It's all live from Las Vegas, coming up here in just a moment or so. Jeff Fuller and Glenn Jarrett have been on board with me. Hope you've enjoyed the day. Congratulations to Idaho's Randy Tolsma. Eli Gold bidding you so long from Bakersfield.